We only made 3 changes to this business model to grow this brand in 3 months from $50K to $225,000 a month, and you can copy this exact strategy, and that's exactly what I'm gonna be showing you in this video. Let's get into it. All right, so number 3 is research. We spend a lot of time on the research and in conversations about what will actually work for our audience based on feedback from current ads. The research phase can be a little tricky for some people, but I want to explain it in a way that you can take action on right now to really see the results. There are 3 stages you need to remember: imitate, iterate, and innovate. We're gonna break down each one of those, but they're very, very important for the research process, and I think that it's the best way to explain it without going in crazy depth of like, how do I actually make this actionable? So imitate is exactly how it sounds. You need to go out and steal like an artist. Find content that is already working really well in the market and then recreate it with your own twist. We actually have a 4-play swipe file, so if you don't know what 4-play is, we'll pull up something on the screen here, but this will allow you to go out and find other ads. This will actually allow you to see what's going on that has been done in the past. This is not like Facebook Ads Library where it actually can get taken away. You can upload it from anywhere, and so it's just swipe files of like really good ads that work. All right, just comment the word 4-play down below and I will share over that file with you. All right, so once you find success with imitation, it is important to start to iterate on what is working with different colors, adding motion and slight tweaks. Then they will give you insight so that you can move into the hardest stage and execute. But this stage will put you farther ahead than the competition. All right, so this last one is innovate. This is where you have stable ads and they're getting sales and you want to try something out of the ordinary to see if it will actually work. If it doesn't work, don't worry. Go back to the drawing board. Just please do not start here, right? You really do need to start with the imitate, iterate, and then innovate. Okay, so number 2, probably the most important part of the business is the strategy, or the part of this piece that makes this work is profit. The strategy would not work without profit, and I'll show you all inside of Triple Well here shortly to give you insight, because I think it's important to know that in e-commerce, your job is to not only get one purchase from a customer, but as many as possible. LTV, or lifetime value, will make or break your business, and the lower that your price point is and the lower that your margins are, the more that this LTV number matters. So how do we add profit into a business? We do this through a couple different ways: through email, SMS, and postcards. Now, in complete transparency, this brand did not opt in for postcards, so this was all done without that. But if they had done this and had our choice, if they would have done that, then I think they would have had even more profit. But I will talk about postcards and the specifics of that a little bit later, because I think it is very valuable for you. But for email, it's simple. Build your engaged list to 1,000 people. That's that magic number. And then send out 3 emails per week. No, it's not too many. Yes, it does work. Remember, you are bombarded with messages every single day, and most of y'all that I talk to on the phone or Zoom or wherever I interact with you at are only sending your customers 1, maybe 2 emails per month at most. That type of email sending will get you forgotten. Marketing is about the right message to the right person at the right time. The hard part is you don't know what the time is, right? You don't have a clue what the right time is. Nobody does. So you have to make sure that you're sending out messages frequently to get enough at-bats. More at-bats, more chances to win, okay? So remember that for email. Number 2A-ish for inside of here, right, is SMS. So SMS, extremely powerful, high ROI on this one. I've changed my stance here on my frequency. So if you have 1,000 people on your SMS list, I want you to send out 1 to 2 SMSs per week. I used to say 1 a week. I used to start getting 5 to 6 per week from several different brands, and it looks like the bigger brands are really starting to focus and lean on this. So I'm just getting some insight into the more SMS, the more people are getting used to it, the less opt-outs that we're getting. So teeter on that line of that 1 to 2 times per week. Save your discounts for email only, and SMS as a reminder about exclusive drops and deals that are happening for them. Do not give a discount on your SMS. It's already expensive to send those. It's more expensive than email. So email priority, then SMS, then right now, postcards. So let me explain to you how these are powerful and why you need to use them before we get into Ads Manager and I break down the setup of what made these campaigns successful. Okay, so these postcards are not like the postcards your parents used to get in the mail or your grandparents used to get in the mail. It is not just a blind send out, although that can work. But this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are able to be opted in through your Klaviyo emails, who take actions on your website, who then get a postcard. So think about it. We got Joe over here and Susie over here. Both of them are on your website. Both of them are on your email list. Both of them initiate checkout, and both of them get a postcard. They're sent out a postcard. It looks amazing, and then it says, Joe, how you doing today? This is what was happening. This is what you ordered, and it's dynamic to him. And then she gets something that's very specific to her. They're both two totally different creatives that are sent to each other, but it's custom to them. The best part about this is that you're taking online to offline, which allows you to start to really create a brand. And for $1 or $1.25 or whatever it is to get something in the mail to somebody, and then to get them to buy something that's $30, $40, $50, $100, the price or the ROI is extremely high. And remember, you're not sending out thousands just blanket. You're only sending out to the people who have actually taken actions. I would highly suggest that after you've nailed email and SMS, you move into the postcard game, because that is a great place to add profit. Back to where we were talking about previously, let's make ads work. Let's put gasoline on the fire here. Running Facebook's ads at this type of budget is simple, right? So in concept, but harder to execute, mostly because people go directly into thinking that Facebook will fix their problems. But all it does is magnify them. If you have a profitable business model that adds real value to your customers and they enjoy the heck out of your ads, you will make a lot of money. On the flip side of that, if you are selling a crap product with a horrible offer to everyone on the internet, your ads will fall flat on their face, or honestly, they won't get any spend at all. Facebook wants to prioritize what is good advertising. So let's go look at the campaigns and let's go look at the numbers behind this and how it actually works. Okay, so over here on Ads Manager, just want to break down a couple of things that are going on. Obviously, there are campaigns that are running now that are different from what we were at in April of 2023. So April of 2023, what was going on, we had $72,000 in sales. New cost per acquisition was $140. Some of these numbers are a little bit skewed, so it's probably a little bit less than that because there's a few other things that were factored in. But we're still probably about $80, $90 for a new customer acquisition. This average order value is very high. The lifetime value was starting to make sense, but the brand, $70,000 is really just not profitable for them. Our total blended return was a 3.3 or a 3.4. However, there was a lot of things at play here that really didn't get added in until later to actually see the true blended return on investment. So average order value 94, so it's not horrible. Everything else was okay. We also had some TikTok ads that we're testing out. We're still continuing to test those, but new customer ROAS was down. Total blended ROAS actually made sense. Profitable return right here, that says right here, profit on ad spend. Does this start to make sense? It was all okay. Our MER was actually a little bit high, but a lot of things going into a lot of factors here. But this is the real numbers of what's actually happening right now. So this was April, again, $70,000. I think the month before that, let's look here as well. This is really what I want to look at. March was 84, and then February was 51. So it went up a little bit. January, it looks like, yeah, it's down 50%. There was an in-person event that really skewed this, so it wasn't even like, even though they made $100,000 that month, it was mostly in-person, like warehouse sale. So again, not online. So going back over here to April, we can see here, this is what the inside of the Triple Well numbers look like here. Inside of Ads Manager, these are the numbers that were going off. So $47 purchases, $61 purchases. We had some DCT going on. So we had a lot of stuff that was really affecting this. It's like, okay, so what was working, what was not working? Well, what was working was we were going broad and we were reaching a really good audience. What was not working, we had our ads set up. There was probably too many ads in there, a lot of bloated. There was no offer. There was no perception of value. And so we made a change in May. Everything started to really move in the right direction. So we created a very enticing offer. We also decided that as long as we could hit a certain threshold and we focused on LTV, or taking care of our customers, that if we could be profitable in 30 days, 60 days, that it would actually start to make the numbers make more sense. And I'll jump into that here in a second. Okay, so we're gonna go to May, the very next month here. And as you can see, we're up quite significantly from the 70 to 226. MER is down completely. Total blended return is a 7.4. New customer is a 3. So for every dollar we're spending to acquire a new customer, we're at a 3. Why is that? We had an amazing offer. It was a site-wide sale. We were going after the new customers. We were going for broad. And let's go ahead and look at what Ads Manager looked like in May, because it was completely different. So cost per purchases, well into the 30s. Our average order value, go back over to Triple Whale, was 113, so we went from 90 something to 113. Very easily can we spend $30 to make $113, absolutely. One thing that I do want to look at here as well is that inside over here, our 60 to 90 day LTV. So in the last 3 months, we're at July, so this kind of hits both time frames. Our LTV has gone up significantly. So average order value is about 113, 60-day LTV is now 180, 90 days 192. Up significantly here. And so because of that, we're able to say, hey, look, in 60 days, we'll make 180. So as long as, and we have about 50 to 70% margins, as long as we can acquire this customer that's profitable, we'll be able to scale and we continue to spend budget. So in May, we spent, on that ad set, we spent quite a bit, but we spent $27,000. I will tell you right now, that did well. We're well into summer now. We're in the J months, and so July is obviously, we're spending, I think, a lot more. This is the end of July. We're at 66. So we've tripled budget at this point, and we're still continuing to grow. You will say that this has been a significant change for us. Now, one thing, you're probably wondering what some insight is. So we had a great offer. We also switched to a one-day click, one-day view. We used to do this, and honestly, it should be one-day click. We just accidentally, I think it was an accident to hit one-day click or one-day view, but the attribution window, because we were spending more money, made sense. We could start to get purchases in a faster timeline, and so that also affected us in a positive light. But this is the real insight here, and then as I mentioned, this is the real numbers, right? We have 226, we went from 50 to 226. The only things that we changed, creative was still good, right? And I will tell you this, the creative did not necessarily change. The setup changed a little bit. The offer changed, and then we worked on our messaging, and we made sure that we set up email and SMS. Then we found out about this really fun tool that you can, I believe, get access to. I will make sure that there is a link in the description. This retention software will get you a whole nother level. I could go down a whole another rabbit hole. We actually have a podcast that breaks down this completely that you should go and listen to, but this has been a game changer. So retention.com, go check them out. That was something we implemented as well, added a ton of profit. I will tell you, we added a lot of email numbers. What else did we do? I think we were also in the process of coding over and moving away from Attentive and going back to Klaviyo. That is what we suggest. The client was on Attentive, and so we moved that over to Klaviyo. But other than that, those were the main changes that we had to get this brand to that next level. All right, y'all, so we drop new content every single week. Make sure you subscribe. And if you found value in this video, I wanted to build $1 million brand, find out more details about things like this, go watch this video right here next. It will help you out a ton. All right, we'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.